my god, it's you. Okay, listen, this is gonna sound so strange, but it has to be fate that brought us together here, because I had a vision about you. I know what you need to get your life on track. I don't normally do this, but here's my personal phone number. Call me and let's talk about your future. Has this ever happened to you? Will it ever happen to you? Just in case, let's talk. Hello, friends, followers, and potential victims. It's Faust, your friendly but frustrated professional occultist. Today, I'm going to talk about a topic that was surprisingly contentious when I did my research. We were talking about, and I'm using finger quotes here, psychics who are con artists that manipulate people out of hundreds of thousands of dollars of their hard-earned money through manipulation and the sale of false hope. Those people give me a bad name, and I hate them. So I'm going to do my best to expose them and, I hope, protect you from becoming one of their victims. When you're thinking clearly, it can be pretty easy to identify someone who is trying to take advantage of you. But when you're vulnerable or insecure about something or in desperate need of just a little ray of hope, that's when they get you. Which brings us to our number one red flag, solicitation. It's not a good thing if someone claiming to be a psychic comes to you for business. Professional occultists who are honest and just trying to apply their craft for the public for a reasonable fee don't solicit people when they seem like they're vulnerable. If anything, I stay far away from people who are in a fragile frame of mind, because that tells me they won't be open to hearing the truth. But a fraudster doesn't care about the truth. They want to tell you what you want to hear, so you keep handing over that cash. So if you're ever in a situation like this, run. Block them, ghost them, get rid of them. They are trying to take advantage of you. And that's not to victim blame. People make bad decisions when they are feeling desperate, and it sucks that there are people in the world who would take advantage of something like that. And the purpose of this video is to warn you about red flag behaviors, and is absolutely not to shame anyone who has had something like this done to them. This particular red flag was pretty universally agreed on with the group of practitioners that I questioned for my research. The next one, however, caused a fair amount of controversy. My number two red flag for you is cost. That's right. How much of your money are they asking for? When I researched this point, it shocked me how divisive it was. I found as many people defending huge price tags as regretfully admitting that either they or someone they love paid way too much for occult services. In fact, while I was recording that footage from earlier where I was pretending to be suspicious and sketchy, I encountered a person at that park who walked up to me and asked me what I was doing, and then wanted to talk about the $500 reading that he just paid for.
Have you been here on the solstice?
Esoteric Arts video channel.
Sweet. So I just went and
Unfortunately, he declined to be interviewed on camera, but he did give me permission to talk about what we discussed. He'd seen a local psychic and paid her $500 for a tarot reading, an astrology chart review, and a little pendant that he showed me. I did ask him if he felt that he had gotten a fair value, and he hesitated and shrugged, saying, I guess. He did mention he was still in contact with her, so I hope at least our meeting will discourage him from letting her take further advantage of his curiosity. Exactly how much is a fair price for a tarot reading was a very contentious topic with the group of practitioners that I queried on the topic. The exact way I phrased my question was, let me know if you've ever had a tarot reading that cost more than $100, because to me, that's way too much. Hardly anyone agreed with me on that point. But here's the thing, reading tarot cards doesn't take a lot of time, so that equates to a pretty big payout for time spent. You can spend an hour, maybe two, with a client if you really stretch it out and they have a lot to talk about, but at that point you're pushing being a discount therapist therapist more than you are an occultist. I've been reading tarot since I was 4, and honestly, if a tarot reading session takes longer than 30-45 minutes, then they're asking so many questions that the answers are going to start to become skewed because there's only so much information that a single deck of cards can dole out in one sitting. Just for some perspective, the average salary of a surgeon in the United States is $400,000. That's the median. Hey Google, how much per hour does someone make with a $400,000 salary?
If you make $400,000 a year, then your hourly income is $192.31.
Thanks. So a surgeon who saves lives makes $200 an hour. Just putting that out there. And for my new friend and anyone else who's paid $500 or more for a reading, here are a couple of other things you could get for $500. A huge, real, ethically sourced crystal on a titanium chain. Several of them, in fact. A round-trip flight to somewhere fun. 5 days of passes to Disney World. A PlayStation 5. A cameo from JoJo Siwa. Just to name a few things. Number 3, and this is the biggest red flag and the most universal that I have found in my research, is diagnosis. What I mean by that is if this so-called psychic tells you that you have a curse on you or that you have some bad energy that needs to be cleansed, and they treat it like a doctor's visit, basically. They give you some sort of malignant metaphysical condition that only they can help you with. It's especially a red flag if they say that they're the only ones who can help you. But even if they don't say that, but they still offer some expensive treatment like a crystal or some kind of meditation or a follow-up reading or anything like that, if they diagnose you with any metaphysical illness, it's bull. I'm sorry. It's nonsense. And they're definitely scamming you. That's a fact. There is not a tarot card in any deck that I've ever seen that means you have a curse on your bloodline. There are a couple of card combinations that may suggest you have an enemy and an occultist, and they could be sending bad energy your way, but a professional occultist such as myself who is not scamming you would simply tell you that. And if you ask me for a solution, I will tell you some things you can do that's just advice. I'm not going to sell you a $500 MacGuffin to protect you from the bad energies of the world, because I hate to break it to you, there's no such thing. And my final red flag that I want to warn you about just kind of ties everything all together is motivation. The motivation of your psychic or diviner or occultist or practitioner, whatever you want to call them, should be simply to ply their craft for a reasonable fee. If you think you might be getting scammed, consider the motivation of the practitioner in question carefully. Are they looking out for your best interests, or are they trying to make a buck off of you? Are they trying to insist that you need their help? Are they trying to make you dependent on them? Are they trying to make you feel false hope and like they are your only chance at having a good life? If so, ditch them. This video was inspired by one of my coven members who has had his fair share of rip-off readings in Los Angeles. I will be flying out to see him in 2 days, and my next video will be a vlog of spending Samhain in LA with my coven. So stay tuned for that, probably in sometime in November. In the meantime, I genuinely hope this video helps guide you away from fraudsters who are trying to take advantage of you. Or at the very least, you found it entertaining and informational. But if not, don't blame me. You can blame my friends on the other side.